we probably, we got our festivals that happen in most of the capital cities. They're either fringe festivals or comedy festivals. I haven't been a really big part of those. I just find it too competitive. Not in the fact that it's competing. You're competing for an audience. That's what I think. It's like, and they're not competitive amongst the acts. It's you're competing to try and get people in. And there are these different tiered levels of comedians, the famous ones that everybody knows, the ones that they then bring out, and then a lot of people just fighting for scraps and trying to do that. I'm at that level, the fighting for scraps level, right? So not famous enough to pull a crowd in. And I just find it a lot of hard work. And then even on the last festival I did, I just thought I guess some of the well-known acts may do them. I don't think they're making a lot of money, but it's just adding to their profile that they're there, and I think, I'm not sure if they get a deal from the festivals or not, but, I feel like that they possibly could, but, they're then seen at that festival and get a better deal to give that festival credibility. Some fly them out, some fly acts out and sponsor them and do bits and pieces like that. But that level of everyone else fighting for scraps, and it's not a lot of festivals aren't really quality controlled now. Anybody can go in. You don't have to be an act. You can register, and they're happy to take your money and put you in the program, and then leave you to your own devices to try and do whatever you've got to do to recoup those sort of funds. But I would rather somebody book me, somebody pay me, and I'll be done.
There's a thing in the UK where they say that some people are circuit comedians and some people are like festival comedians, and there's all sorts going on. What you're saying with the scraps, like people put posters everywhere, but some acts will do unscrupulous things of taking those other acts' posters off and putting theirs on top, and then it's ridiculous, all of these things that go on, and they are fighting for scraps. So one or two audience members, and then and they're paying thousands of pounds.
There is a bit of that. Yeah, there's a bit of that went on here. Like I remember I did Perth when I did 25 years of comedy. I did Perth and Adelaide, and I went over to Perth. I was like, "Where's this poster that I've paid to put up?" And there's a whole string around where the ticket box office is, and it was behind the box office on the fence, hidden. I just went, "You why would you?" Like seriously, what have I just went, "Well, it's a scam." And then I went somewhere else, and someone else had put posters over, who was an agent actually, and I just said, I actually posted something socially about some sort of comedy mafia being involved, and a few agents called me up over that. But who are you calling a mafia? Well, I'm just saying, well, that wasn't our fault. Well, but they're your acts and you did it, and so yeah. Maybe I'll burn a few bridges along the way too.
But do you, with you being in the comedy industry for 33 years, I've noticed with some of the people that I've had on the podcast, when they've been going for a long time, you're not as bothered as much about certain things. I know.
You live and learn for sure. Yeah.
How much would you say your skin has become like a rhinoceros over the years?
Well, I think it happened early on because in 2000 I opened a comedy club in Sydney called the Laugh Garage. We weren't competing. There used to be, when I started, there were two main comedy venues in Sydney. There's only two main ones, and a few pubs would do one night a week maybe, but there weren't that many.